Welcome to the LoveZone. I'm Michael Lovejoy, your host, and we have a great human interest story for you once again here in the LoveZone. We have the great Bishop Luke Witherspoon from Atlantic City, New Jersey, here to tell you about his story of his upbringing in the South, him coming north, his ministry, his mentoring programs, his employment of young black men, and also his passionate copyright story. Something that you don't want to miss. So, stay cool, stay smooth, stay where you are. I'll see you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Love Zone. You never will guess who we have here with us. The esteemed Bishop Luke Witherspoon Sr. from Atlantic City, New Jersey. How you doing, Brother Bishop?
Doing great.
Glad to have you here in the Love Zone. It's been a long time coming.
I'm happy to be here.
Brother Bishop, I want to just put you at ease right now. I want to let you know we're so happy to have you here. It's been a long time coming, and we're so happy to have you here in the Love Zone.
Thank you.
Brother Bishop, I want to ask you a question. And I like to start by getting a little background information on you for the Love Zone audience. I like to start by opening this segment by getting a little background on you. Where you from? Where'd you come from, and what year did you come to this area? So, are you originally from the New Jersey area?
I'm not originally from New Jersey, no.
Where you from, sir?
North Carolina, Tar Heel State.
What part of North Carolina?
Mooresville, North Carolina.
Mooresville, North Carolina. There's a couple of famous people from that area. Are you aware of that?
No, I'm not.
I think the great race car driver is from there, the one that got killed in the race car.
Earl Einhardt.
Who?
Earl Einhardt.
Einhardt?
You're right.
Oh, okay.
I think that's his name.
That's his name? Okay.
Earl Einhardt.
All right, no problem. Okay. Can you tell me, sir, what was your upbringing in the South that may have had an effect on your life here in the North?
My upbringing in the South was that I came up with my mother and dad. My father passed at a very young, when I was a very young age, say around 8 or 9. Around 8 or 9. And we stayed with my mother for a while, and then we were sent to the orphanage home in Oxford, North Carolina.
You were raised in an orphanage?
Raised in an orphanage.
What precipitated you being raised in an orphanage?
Well, my father had passed, and my mother was no longer able to keep us. And the people of the Mooresville Cotton Mill was part of us going to the Oxford Orphanage in North Carolina.
Okay, was the orphanage a positive experience for you or a negative experience?
The orphanage was a very positive experience.
How so, sir?
For me, because had it not been for the orphanage, I don't know where I would be. I'd probably be dead today. But because of the orphanage, they trained us, taught us how to work, and we came up on a system that they overseen everything that we did. And
so you're saying they taught you a skill?
yeah, they taught us barbering, shoe repairing, how to repair shoes, how to cut hair, farming, and so forth and so on.
Oh, wonderful. So they gave you the tools to go out and make a life for yourself.
Yes, they did.
And what is the name of the orphanage?
It was it was named the Oxford Colored Orphanage at the time. They had 2 orphanages there. They had the white orphanage and they had the colored orphan home. So I came up in the colored orphan home.
Oh, you couldn't go to the white orphanage?
No, no, I couldn't go there because it was strictly for the other persuasion.
So you're saying that your earlier experience in life in what is called segregation was there at the orphanage, where there was a black orphanage and there was a white orphanage. Am I correct? And I'm sure in North Carolina you had white fountains and black fountains, correct?
At the early, yeah.
And you rode at the back of the bus and they rode at the front of the
Well,
bus?
we did early on. We did earlier, but later we was able to ride in the front of the bus later on.
Yes, sir. Okay, so I see here in my biography information on you, you've been married for 54 years?
54 years.
To the same lady?
Same lady.
Okay, and would you like to give her a shout out, her name for the audience here?
Her name is Madam Juanita Witherspoon.
Juanita Witherspoon. Okay, you have 6 children.
6 children.
And you have a multitudes of grands and greats.
Certainly.
And you have been in the ministry business for 40 years and been pastoring 40 years and 56 years in the ministry. Am I correct?
Ministry, correct.
All right. You've been a bishop for approximately 22 to 23 years.
Certainly.
All right. A community leader, a landowner,
Right.
an employer,
Right.
a mentor, a pastor, and a patent owner. Am I correct?
Correct.
Now, let me ask you this. Would you say that that upbringing had something to do with your eventual growth and evolvement, with these particular things that you've been able to do since you've been in Jersey?
Certainly. I growing up in the orphanage. There were a lot of things that we wanted to do as children growing up. We wasn't able to do. For instance, going to baseball games and basketball games. I went to baseball games. If they knocked the ball over the fence and you got it, you could take it to the gate and they would let you in. Going to the basketball games, you'd have to stand out there as a young man and wait until maybe the last quarter or something before they would allow you in. And I said to myself as a young man growing up, I said, if I ever grew up, I would pay for young people to go into ball games, which I didn't have the privilege of going when I was growing up.
So when you got to be a grown man, were you able to fulfill that idea or that notion that you had when you was a young man?
Yes, I did. I paid one young man's way into the game so much until he started calling me his father.
His father.
And then I had a baseball team that I started when I came out of the orphanage with young men. And a lot of those young men went on and they didn't ever become professional, but they went to the Pennant, drafted in the Pennant to play National League Baseball, and I was very happy about that.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, let me ask you this, sir. You, I understand, have been a mentor to a lot of the young, up-and-coming, today, pastors in the Atlantic City and in the New Jersey area. Am I correct?
Correct.
Could you tell me some of the young men who've mentored under you in reference to them getting started in the ministry?
First, I would like to thank God that I was able to mentor quite a few young people in the gospel. First of all, my son, Luke Jr., he is now a very successful pastor in the Egg Harbor area. Brian McCoy, who has gone home to be with the Lord, he was one of the pastors that I mentored under my ministry at Westminster. Tammy Jones is one of the evangelists, as one of the pastors that I mentored. There were some pastors, some preachers, what is known as assistant pastors of churches. And Melvin Pfeiffer is now the assistant pastor to Bishop John Gandy, the Abundant Life Ministry. And I could go on naming others, but time won't permit me to name all of them.
Yes, sir. So you have a lot of sons and daughters who have been called and pledged to go into fight the battle on behalf of Christ. Is that correct?
That's correct. That's correct.
Now let me ask you, sir, what was it that caused you to go into the ministry?
I was called as a growing up in the orphanage, And we had career day at our school, which was Mariposa High School. And they asked us what profession would we would love and like to go into. I said, I would like to be a preacher. I like to be a preacher.
Did you see anyone that was before you that inspired you to become a preacher, or this is just an occupation that you wanted to
This
get
is
into?
occupation. It was an inward call from God. And I wanted to help people. Growing up in the orphanage, you get a sense of wanting to be able to help people in general. So I felt that the ministry gave me that opportunity to do that.
Yes, sir. And you received that call down south, or you received the call here in New Jersey?
I received a call down south, but it did materialize. I didn't come forward until I came to New Jersey.
And under what circumstances was it that you came forward here in Jersey?
And for in Jersey, well, I had an experience with my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I was baptized in the name of the Lord Jesus. I was filled with the baptism of the Holy Spirit, which gave me power and authority to go forth and minister in His name. So I started my father in the gospel, which Bishop Fred Jerkins, brought Juanita and I to the Lord. And he played a great part in it. He carried us around and the great preaching and singing, and that inspired me more.
Well, Pastor Jergens is still on the scene today, isn't he?
Pastor Jerkins, Bishop Jerkins.
Oh, Bishop Jerkins, yes, sir.
Is still on the scene.
And that's the family of the great producer Rodney Jergens, am I correct?
Absolutely. That's Rodney and Freddie's father.
Yes, sir. All right. Yes, sir. Now, let me ask you a question now. You, evidently, you're not here to just talk about the goodness of the Lord, because He certainly wants to be better and good to you some more.
Certainly.
You have a thing going on that is called the Life View. And for those of us who are not privy to know what Life View is, can you explain, in general, what is the Life View?
The Life View is a concept that I came up with years ago. I went to the funeral of my grandmother, and my grandmother did not look to me like herself. And I said to myself years ago, I don't want to be seen like this. I want to be seen like I live my life every day. So I started out with that in mind, that I wanted people to be seen as they live their life instead of how they go out. Sometimes they go out and you don't even know them and can't tell them. But if you get a picture to review of them while they live and show that at their last scene or funeral, then you can have a greater joy of knowing how people lived and how they left this earth.
So your life view is a reflection back over a person's past.
Over a person's past.
Over their better times.
Over their better times.
Because most certainly when you say someone who has deteriorated, like from Alzheimer's or
Right.
in a car accident or from diabetes or
Right.
whatever the case may be, those certainly aren't happier times, and you wanted to catch and reflect and show persons and people during the better times.
Better times of their lives. And I've had teachers and friends that I enjoy seeing in their good days, and when they passed away, it wasn't the same.
Okay, now you set up a storefront a few years ago out in Mays Landing. Could you give us some information about that?
Well, I was so inspired about LifeView that until we opened our first LifeView Museum in Mays Landing on the Hardin Highway, we had everything that LifeView had to offer to a person during the days of their lives. And we expressed that in LifeView pictures, and you get, like, it's a museum. And to be truthful with you, Juanita and we're going to open another museum out in Mays Landing. It's a historical site. It's the first site of the LifeView presentation.
Now, how successful was it at that particular time when you first opened it?
It wasn't, we didn't have the success because people was not familiar with LifeView. They didn't understand it. They didn't understand the LifeView concept. But I showed it to some funeral directors, and I showed it until it caught on.
Your concept caught on.
My concept caught on, and now it's being used all over the country.
Now, let me ask you this. At that particular time, had you already filed for your patent and copyright on the LifeView concept?
I filed for the copyright concept, LifeView. I filed for it in 1994. No, I received it in 1994. I had it copywritten early, but I didn't get my copyright certification until 1994.
Okay, so you're the only person.
I'm the only person.
In this continental United States of America.
That's correct.
Home of the free, land of the brave.
That's correct.
To have this concept patented and copywritten. Is that what you're telling us?
I'm telling you, I'm the only one that had the copyrights.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're looking at a very potentially wealthy man here in the person of the esteemed Bishop Luke Witherspoon Sr. So, what we're going to do, we're going to take a pause for the cause. And we're going to come back and get into the next segment here with the bishop here in reference to the LifeView concept and the ramifications to follow through the use of his patent and his copyright unauthorized. We'll see you in 2 and 2. This is Michael Lovejoy. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Love Zone. This is Michael Lovejoy, your host, talking to the esteemed Bishop Luke Witherspoon III here in the Love Zone studios. Brother Bishop, when did you realize that there may have been an infringement on your copyright and patent rights for the LifeView?
Well, I realized it a few years back when I would attend funerals, and then they would have photos, LifeView photos on display. I knew that was my concept being infringed upon. I also wrote and sent information to many other funeral homes in the state of New Jersey and around the country concerning my LifeView concept.
Had you shown anyone this concept before or after you filed with the United States Copyright Office in Washington, D.C.?
No, I did not. I was very cautious of the fact that if I had shown it to anyone, they would jump on it and take it. I didn't show it until I received my copyright certification from Washington, D.C., from the Patent Office.
Yes, sir. Now, let's understand what a copyright is. I have here the definition of what a copyright is from Funk and Wagner. And it says here, it is the exclusive legal right given to an originator or an assignee to print, publish, perform, film, or record literary, artistic, or musical material, and to authorize others to do the same. Did you give anyone the authorization
No
to
one.
use the life view?
No one.
Okay. Now, let's understand what a patent is, according to what the dictionary people say. This comes from old Daniel Webster. It says this: a government authority or license conferring a right or title for a set period, especially the sole right to exclude others from making, using, or selling an invention. Does that pretty much describe what
Well,
it is that you have?
The patent is different from a copyright.
Yes, sir.
And my copyright comes as songwriters write songs.
Yes, sir.
You cannot use their song unless you get their permission, especially when it's copywritten.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I feel like that I have been infringed upon by the film industry using my copyright without my permission and without compensating me for using my copyright.
You said that you've reached out to various funeral organizations, funeral homes, etc. And have you had any response from a single party or entity?
Well, I received a response from a funeral home that they agreed that they was using my copyright and infringing upon it, and they agreed that, you know, they would give me financial contribution for using it, but I never received it.
You never received it.
Never received it.
Okay, in this scenario, sir, is there a teaching moment that you could impart to the LoveZone audience in reference to knowing your rights and how to pursue those who violate your rights?
Well, I tried to get attorneys to help me to pursue my rights, but nobody really in the law field at this time really wanted to help me, okay? You need an attorney if you're gonna go after somebody that's infringing upon your rights. You need an attorney. And I've been looking for an attorney, either a law firm that would take this and they would become very, very, very wealthy. They would become almost instant millionaires and billionaires if they was to take my copyright and represent me.
Now, what are they telling you when you request them to represent you? What are they saying to you?
Well, locally, nobody locally in this area would take it.
Did they give you a reason?
No, they didn't want to take it because I think really they see the potentials. They saw the potentials of what this could be. They saw the potentials that I would become a very, very wealthy man, and for some reason or another, they didn't sign on to it.
So they're saying that you, if your rights have been violated, they're not interested in you pursuing a grievance or someone violating your rights to make it right.
They didn't. They wouldn't sign on for it.
Okay, well, let me ask you this, sir. But you are going to pursue this legally.
Oh, definitely. There are attorneys and law firms out there that would take this on. It's just a matter of me finding the right law firm and the right lawyer that would take it on.
Yes, sir. Now, finally, I'd like to give you an opportunity to do this, to close this segment and take a couple of minutes to give encouragement to those who have been violated with their goods, their services, and products, to take their place and claim what is truthfully and rightfully and legally theirs. Take a couple of minutes to do that. Could you give them some encouragement, sir?
I would say to anyone that has a product that need to be copyrighting a patent, it's to find himself an attorney that would represent them and be fair in their representation of them. In the early goings of my life view, infringement, people infringing upon my rights, I didn't have that knowledge that I have now about getting a lawyer and attorney at the very outset of my product. But I suggest to anyone that has a product, before they put it on the market or put it out there, to have legal representation so they can be protected and get what's coming to them. Unfortunately, I'm going to get what's coming to me, and I even had to file bankruptcy. I wouldn't have to file bankruptcy if these people who have infringed upon my rights pay me the money that they owe me. I'll say today, they owe me millions, millions. And I'm not a person that is like to take revenge against people, but I want what's mine. They're making money on my product, and they're not giving me a dime. I want them, all of the funeral homes in America that's using my product, I want them to pay me for the usage of my product. And I have a product that will never go out of existence. As long as people live, people are going to want to be seen the way they live their life. And that's the way I want to be seen, the way I live my life. And people will pay for that. They're paying for it. I go to funerals all the time, and I'll see the life view concept, and I know it's mine. And I'll tell people that's my concept, but I'm not being paid for it. I want to be paid for it. The American dream, if I don't get paid for it, if I'm not getting paid for it, the American dream has failed me. We in tight times here in America, and all we need is young men and young women coming forth with their inventions. And the tight times and tough times will disappear because there's a lot of talented young people out here that has visions that can share, that can make their lives so much better than what they are. And in my closing with you, I would like to say that's not the only thing that I've done with the Life View. I design clothes. I have designed clothes, and I haven't put this out because what I've designed, somebody would take it. But I designed all of my clerical attire. I'm the first one in the area that did it, and it's gone global. My clerical attire, ministers all over go to Renzetti's in Philadelphia, and you can see my designs at Renzetti's tailor shop. They are designs that I designed my robes with years ago, and I still have my robes as of today. And I just want to thank my sponsor,
Michael Lovejoy,
for putting my presentation out there that people may see. All I don't want the whole hog. I just want my due from the hog so that I can enjoy my wife and my family, we can enjoy our lives.
Well, there you have it from the esteemed Bishop Luke Witherspoon Sr. of Atlantic City, New Jersey. And I'd like to read this to you, sir. It's from one of your favorite books in the Bible. And I know you're a scripture man. And it's from David the Psalmist, 37:40, and it reads like this. But the salvation of the righteous is from the Lord, and he is their strength in the time of trouble. And the Lord shall help them and deliver them from the wicked, and shall save them because they trust in him. So there you have it, Brother Bishop.
Thank you.
Listen, this is Michael Lovejoy here, once again here in the Love Zone, as we say always in party. If you drink, don't drive. And if you drive, don't drink. Because the life you save may be your own. Stay cool, stay smooth, stay where you are. We'll see you later.
Thank you. Hallelujah.
Good. You did well. You did well, man.